I'm about to tell you how one dinner destroyed my marriage and exposed the biggest financial scam in Colorado history. My name's Benjamin Cole. I'm 34, live in Denver, and until that Wednesday night, I thought my biggest problem was my wife's stuck-up family. Turns out, I was dead fucking wrong. So Rachel, my wife of 3 years, mentions this family dinner thing. Doesn't ask if I want to come. Just assumes I'll show up like some loyal dog. The Golden Bull, this pretentious steakhouse downtown where appetizers cost $40. I throw on my best shirt and drive over, thinking maybe tonight won't be complete torture. I walk up to the hostess stand. Young blonde kid with fake eyelashes. Benjamin Cole, I say, expecting the usual bullshit routine. Instead, she looks at me like I just asked her to donate a kidney. Sorry, sir, I don't see that name anywhere. Try Harrison, I say. That's Rachel's dad's last name. I'm meeting the Harrison family. She flips through her book again. Her face lights up like Christmas morning. Oh yes, party of 5 under Gregory Harrison. They're already seated. Already seated. That hits me weird, but I don't know why yet. I follow her pointing finger. There they are. Rachel, her parents Gregory and Victoria, her sister Melissa, her brother Kyle, all dressed to kill, laughing over wine glasses, like they're filming a commercial for rich people problems. Benjamin, I turn around. Victoria Harrison, my mother-in-law, standing behind me like she's been waiting for this exact moment. She gives me that look. The one that says I'm something she stepped in. Oh, Benjamin, she says, putting on this fake surprised voice. You didn't seriously think you were invited, did you? I think she's joking at first. But the way she's smiling, all teeth and no soul, tells me she's dead serious. Behind her, Rachel keeps stirring her martini like nothing's happening. Melissa and Kyle hide behind their wine glasses, trying not to laugh. If you love stories about family betrayal and shocking reversals, hit that like button and subscribe right now. Every day brings completely new stories, each one more intense than the last. This establishment is a bit above your pay grade, Victoria continues, leaning closer. There's an Applebee's 2 blocks down. Might be more your speed. Now, I've dealt with Victoria's shit for 3 years. The passive-aggressive comments, the fake smiles, the way she always mentions how Rachel could have done so much better whenever I'm in earshot. But this was planned. Something about it felt familiar in a way that made my stomach turn. That's when I remembered something. A name, a connection they didn't know about. Actually, I say, straightening my jacket, could you ask Michael Romano to come out here? Victoria actually laughs, a sharp, cruel sound. Michael Romano? The owner? What are you going to do, complain about the service? Just tell him Benjamin Cole wants to say hello. He'll know exactly who I am. The hostess looks between us like she's watching a tennis match. Victoria crosses her arms. This is ridiculous. Is it? Because Mike and I go way back. Like back to when this place was just a dream and a business plan I helped him write. Her smile starts to crack around the edges. You're bluffing. Am I? The hostess returns a minute later, eyes wide. Mr. Romano is coming right out. I watch Victoria's face cycle through about 5 different emotions. Behind her, Rachel finally looks up from her drink. For the first time tonight, she's actually looking at me. The kitchen doors burst open. Out walks Michael Romano. Late 40s, built like he could bench press a truck. Salt and pepper hair slicked back. The second he sees me, his whole face explodes into a grin. Benjamin fucking Cole! He shouts, not giving a damn about the fancy atmosphere. Jesus Christ, where the hell have you been hiding? He walks over and grabs me in one of those bear hugs that could crack ribs. Mike, I say, grinning back. Good to see you, brother. Good to see me? Shit, you disappear for 18 months and that's all I get. He pulls back, still beaming. Last time I saw you, we were drowning in permit paperwork, fighting with the city about whether we could put the bar on the east or west wall. And I was right about the west wall, I say. Damn right you were. Bartender can see the whole dining room from there. Best fucking decision we made. He turns to the hostess. Whatever this man wants, he gets. Best table, top shelf liquor, the whole 9 yards. Victoria's standing there like someone just told her Santa Claus was arrested for tax evasion. Behind her, I can see Rachel staring at us, mouth slightly open. I won't have him standing out here like he doesn't belong, Mike continues. Not in my house. This man saved my ass more times than I can count. He claps me on the shoulder. Come on, let me show you the new wine cellar. Got some bottles that would make your head spin. And I want you to meet my sous chef. Kid's got talent, but needs someone to tell him how the real world works. We talk for another 10 minutes. Long enough for everyone at that table to hear phrases like couldn't have done it without him and this guy's basically family. Then Mike heads back to oversee the dinner rush, but not before telling the entire waitstaff to treat me like royalty. The hostess turns to me, still looking shaken. Mr. Cole, would you like me to show you to your table? Victoria looks like she's about to vomit. I shrug like I've got all the time in the world. Sure, let's go say hello to the family. Keep watching to see how Benjamin turns the situation completely upside down. I walk over to their table. The whole dynamic shifts instantly. Rachel scoots over to make room, not meeting my eyes. Melissa gives me this look that's half curiosity, half terror. Kyle just sits there like he's trying to figure out what the hell just happened. Victoria's the last one to sit down. She drops into her chair like someone cut her puppet strings. I sit down slowly, put my napkin on my lap. For the first time in 3 years, I'm not just Rachel's husband. I'm the guy with the power, the one they underestimated. But here's the thing. As I'm sitting there watching them squirm, something's bothering me about this whole setup. The way Victoria was positioned by the entrance, how they were all dressed up and seated before I arrived. None of them seemed surprised when my name wasn't on the list. This wasn't just family politics. This felt choreographed. Before Mike's even back in the kitchen, the waitstaff is scrambling. Extra chair, new place setting, bread basket, the works. Mike made sure of that. It's killing Victoria. I watch her wince every time someone calls me Mr. Cole. Well, Victoria says, trying to get her game face back on, this is certainly unexpected. Yeah, I say, casual as hell. Funny how life works out. Melissa clears her throat. So, you and Michael really know each other that well? I helped him build this place from nothing, I say. When it was just an idea and a lease he couldn't afford. I ran the numbers, wrote the business plan, connected him with investors. Hell, I designed half the floor layout myself. Kyle blinks slowly. Wait, so you're actually in the restaurant business? Was. Still do consulting work sometimes? I'm the one who helped Mike navigate the liquor license maze for this place. That was a nightmare involving 4 different city departments and a lot of carefully placed phone calls. Victoria can't help herself. Well, consulting and actually running a business are completely different things. I turn to her and smile. You're absolutely right, which is why I charged him $120,000 for that consulting work. She freezes mid-sip. Rachel's wine glass clinks as she sets it down too hard. Plus all the connections I made for him, I add. Though I didn't charge extra for those. That would have been tacky. Some people just happen to know the right people, Victoria says, but her voice is tight now. Oh, I didn't just happen to know them. I busted my ass for every single connection I have. Not everyone gets handed a contact list at birth. Her eyes narrow dangerously. Some of us understand the value of legacy and tradition. Sure do. But it helps when you know where that legacy gets its funding. Rachel actually flinches at that one. Melissa looks confused. What do you mean? I take a slow sip of water before answering. Victoria, remember when Kyle needed that emergency bailout? For his app startup? About 2 years ago? She goes rigid. That's not relevant to anything. Interesting, because I'm the one who wrote that check. The table goes dead silent. Melissa and Kyle both stare at their mother like she's grown a second head. He was 10 days away from bankruptcy, I continue. Couldn't make payroll, couldn't pay office rent. I stepped in quietly. No big announcements, no family meetings. Just handled it. That's... Victoria starts but doesn't finish. Ancient history? Because he's still sending me monthly progress reports on my investment. Rachel stares at me like she's seeing a ghost. You never told me about that. You never asked. And Kyle specifically requested I keep it quiet. Said it would be embarrassing if the family knew he needed outside help. Kyle's face is bright red now, but there's something else there. Relief, maybe, like he's been carrying this weight for 2 years. Benjamin, Kyle starts. It's fine, I say. That's what family does, right? We help each other out. Victoria's gripping her butter knife like she wants to stab someone with it. Oh, and Melissa, I add, turning to Rachel's sister. Remember that emergency scholarship you got senior year? When you lost your academic funding after that little plagiarism incident. Melissa's eyes go wide as dinner plates. The anonymous benefactor. I nod slowly, not so anonymous anymore. Holy shit, Kyle mutters under his breath. But I'm just getting warmed up. Something about their reactions tells me this goes deeper than family embarrassment. And Gregory, I say, turning to Rachel's father, who's been silent this whole time. Remember when your consulting firm was hemorrhaging money 18 months ago? When you were about to lose the house? Gregory looks up for the first time tonight. I see something in his eyes that looks a lot like panic. That mysterious wire transfer that saved you from foreclosure? That was me too. Victoria's face has gone completely white. Or we could discuss your medical bills after the heart surgery. Insurance covered most of it, but not that experimental procedure. Remember that anonymous payment that covered the difference? Stop, Rachel says quietly. Why? I ask her, but I'm still watching Gregory. Because it's embarrassing? Because it ruins the narrative you've all been telling yourselves? Benjamin, Gregory says, his voice shaky. You don't understand the full picture. Actually, I'm starting to think I understand perfectly. I look around the table slowly. For 3 years, I've been the safety net for this family. The guy who writes checks when disasters strike. The one who makes calls when you need favors. And the whole time, you've treated me like I should be grateful to breathe the same air. We never asked you to do any of those things, Victoria says. But there's no conviction in her voice. No, you didn't ask. You just took the money. And then you had the balls to exclude me from a family dinner like I'm some kind of charity case who doesn't know his place. But as I'm saying this, I'm studying their faces carefully. Something doesn't add up. Victoria looks guilty, sure. But Gregory looks terrified. Kyle keeps glancing at his father like he's waiting for permission to speak. And Melissa looks like she's putting pieces together for the first time. There's something else going on here, isn't there? I say. The silence stretches out like a rubber band about to snap. Benjamin, Rachel says quietly, maybe we should just go home. No, I say, still watching Gregory. I think we're just getting to the interesting part. Gregory takes a shaky sip of his wine. His hand is trembling. I don't know what you're implying. Really? Because you look like a man sitting on some pretty big secrets. Victoria tries to jump in. This is ridiculous. You're embarrassing yourself and everyone else. But I'm not backing down. Not anymore. How many other families are you running this game on? What? Melissa asks sharply. The setup tonight. The way you positioned yourself by the door, Victoria. How none of you seemed surprised when I wasn't on the reservation. This wasn't spontaneous family drama. This was a fucking test. Kyle shifts uncomfortably in his seat. Benjamin, you're being paranoid. Am I? Because I've been thinking about some patterns lately. Things that didn't make sense before. Like how you always seem to have just enough financial trouble to need rescuing. Just enough crisis to require intervention. But never quite enough to actually go under permanently. Gregory's hands are shaking openly now. And how there's always another family in the same situation. Another startup founder on the verge of bankruptcy. Another medical emergency that insurance won't quite cover. Another scholarship that needs anonymous funding. The realization hits me like a freight train to the chest. You're running some kind of scam, aren't you? The table erupts into chaos. Victoria's denying everything loudly. Rachel's trying to get me to stop talking. But Gregory? Gregory just puts his face in his hands. How many other guys like me are there? I ask over the noise. How many other husbands writing checks to save families that aren't really in trouble? Benjamin, stop, Rachel pleads, but her voice is shaking now too. That's why you never wanted me involved in the details. Why there was always another emergency right when the last one got resolved. You've been farming me like a fucking ATM. Kyle finally speaks up. It's not what you think it is. Really? Then enlighten me. He looks at his father, then back at me. There are others. But we're not just scamming random people. We're providing a service. What kind of service? Money laundering, Gregory says quietly, not looking up from his hands. The bottom drops out of my stomach. Jesus fucking Christ, I breathe. But Benjamin has no idea how deep this rabbit hole goes. It's not as bad as it sounds, Melissa says quickly. We only work with people who are already successful. Nobody actually gets hurt. Nobody gets hurt? I stand up, my chair scraping loudly against the floor. I've been unknowingly laundering money for 3 years. The restaurant investments, the startup funding, even the medical payments, Gregory explains, still not looking up. It all gets cleaned through legitimate businesses and charitable contributions. Your name stays completely clean. The money gets processed properly. Everyone benefits. Everyone except the guys like me who don't know they're part of your fucking operation. Victoria finally finds her voice again. You think we wanted this? You think we planned for our son-in-law to be so eager to help with everything? But you sure as hell took advantage of it once you realized what you had. I sit back down, trying to process this information. How big is this thing? 21 families across 5 states, Kyle says quietly. Mostly military personnel, some tech entrepreneurs, a few finance guys, all people with clean records and money to spare. And tonight was what? A test to see if I'd keep playing along even when you treat me like garbage. Rachel speaks up for the first time in several minutes. We needed to know if you'd walk away if things got complicated. Because if I walked away angry, I might start asking uncomfortable questions about where my money really went. Something like that, yeah. I lean back in my chair, looking around the table at these people. My wife, her family. People I've been financially supporting for 3 years. They've been using me as an unwitting front for money laundering. Who else knows about this operation? About you specifically? Just the people at this table, Gregory says. About the larger network? More people than I'm comfortable with. How much money are we talking about here? Approximately $15 million a year gets processed through the entire network, Kyle says. Your contributions account for maybe 6% of that. So roughly $900,000 that I've unknowingly helped launder. Clean investments and charitable contributions, Victoria corrects. You've never done anything technically illegal. All your money went to legitimate causes. But it was part of a larger illegal operation. Technically speaking, yes. I sit there for a moment, letting it all sink in. Then I start laughing. Not because anything's funny, but because it's so completely absurd. You know what the really crazy part is? I say, I actually have to respect the hustle. It's brilliant. Use guys like me who have clean money and savior complexes. Let us think we're being noble and generous. Channel everything through legitimate businesses. Benjamin, Rachel starts. No, seriously, it's fucking genius. Except for one critical mistake. What's that? You got greedy. You could have kept this running for decades if you'd just treated me with basic human decency. But you had to push it. Had to see exactly how far you could go. I stand up again, pulling out my phone. Well, congratulations. You found the limit. What are you going to do? Gregory asks nervously. That depends entirely on you. What do you mean? I mean, I've been recording this entire conversation for the last 20 minutes. I show them the voice recorder app on my screen, and I'm going to walk out of here right now. You have exactly 24 hours to decide whether you want to wind this operation down quietly or whether you want me to hand this recording over to the FBI. The color drains from Victoria's face completely. You can't do that. Actually, I can. And I will. Unless every single family in your network gets contacted tomorrow, told that their benefactor is pulling out due to personal circumstances. Clean breaks, no questions, no drama. That'll destroy people's lives, Melissa protests. No, it won't, because unlike you people, I'm not going to leave anyone hanging. I'm going to make sure every legitimate investment gets properly honored. Every real debt gets paid in full. But this operation ends tomorrow. I look around the table one final time. Oh, and one more thing. My marriage to Rachel, that ends tonight too. Rachel's eyes fill with tears.
Benjamin, please don't do this.
No, I can forgive being used. I can even forgive being lied to for 3 years. But I cannot and will not forgive being turned into an unknowing criminal. I drop $400 cash on the table. This should cover dinner and drinks. Consider it the final contribution from the Benjamin Cole Relief Fund. And then I walk out. No shouting, no dramatic gestures, just the truth hanging in the air behind me like smoke. The drive home feels like the longest of my life. Every red light, every turn, I'm processing what just happened. My wife and her family have been using me as a front for money laundering for 3 years. And I never suspected a damn thing because I was too busy trying to be the perfect husband and son-in-law. Back at the house, I don't pack immediately. Instead, I sit in my home office and start making phone calls. First call goes to Detective Ryan O'Sullivan. Not the actor, my buddy from college who works financial crimes for the Denver FBI field office. We stayed tight over the years, grabbed beers every few months. Ryan, it's Benjamin. I need to talk to you about something. Completely unofficial. What's going on? Hypothetically speaking, if someone discovered they'd been unknowingly participating in a money laundering operation, what would be the smartest way to handle that situation? Long pause. Benjamin, what the hell have you gotten yourself mixed up in? I tell him everything. The dinner confrontation, the family dynamics, the revelation about the operation. When I finish, he's quiet for a long time. You said you recorded the whole conversation? Every word of it. And they have 24 hours to shut it down? That's what I told them. That was smart thinking. Gives us time to set up surveillance, track down the other families, maybe flip some of them into cooperating witnesses. So you're interested in pursuing this? Hell yes, we're interested. Financial crimes involving military families? That's exactly the kind of case that gets serious attention from Washington. What do I need to do? For now, act completely normal. Go home, don't let them know you've talked to law enforcement. We'll have agents positioned to monitor the family, see who they contact, how they try to clean this mess up. And what about my legal exposure? You're clean, Benjamin. Everything you did was legitimate and well documented. You're a victim here, not a perpetrator. After I hang up with Ryan, I call my attorney. Then I call my accountant. Then I start going through every financial document in the house, flagging anything that might be connected to the Harrison family network. It's almost 1 a.m. when Rachel gets home. She comes into the office and finds me surrounded by paperwork. Benjamin? I look up at her. She looks exhausted and defeated. How long have you known about the money laundering? I ask directly. She sits down across from me slowly. Since before we got married. That hits me like a physical blow. So our entire relationship? No, she says quickly. That part was completely real. I fell in love with you, Benjamin. That was never fake or calculated. But you were okay with using me anyway. I tried to talk them out of it multiple times. But when you started offering to help with Kyle's business problems, and then with Dad's medical expenses, it just seemed easier to let you think you were being generous. Easier than trusting me with the truth. Would you have stayed if you'd known from the beginning? I look at her for a long time. Maybe. if you'd trusted me enough to be completely honest. And now it doesn't matter anymore. I called the FBI tonight. Her face goes pale. Benjamin, no. It's done, Rachel. Ryan O'Sullivan, you remember him from college? He's financial crimes now. He has the recording. He has my official statement. By tomorrow morning, this whole thing is going to be under federal investigation. She starts crying. You've destroyed my entire family. No, I didn't destroy anything. Your family destroyed itself. I just stopped enabling it. I stand up and grab the suitcase I'd packed earlier. I'm staying at a hotel tonight. Tomorrow I'm filing for divorce. Benjamin, please. I loved you, Rachel. I really did. But I can't be married to someone who could lie to me about something this massive for this long. The next several weeks blur together. FBI interviews, legal meetings, media attention when the story breaks. The Harrison Network, as the press starts calling it, turns out to be even bigger than Kyle admitted. 28 families across 7 states processing nearly $25 million annually. The other benefactors, guys like me who thought they were just being generous, most are relieved to learn the truth. A few are angry about being used. But most are just grateful to be out of it. Gregory and Victoria Harrison get arrested on federal racketeering charges. Kyle becomes a cooperating witness in exchange for a reduced sentence. Melissa, it turns out, was mostly unaware of the operational details and gets immunity for testifying against her parents. Rachel pleads guilty to conspiracy charges, gets 4 years probation and 800 hours of community service. She loses her boutique. Turns out most of the startup capital was laundered funds anyway. I testify at the trial, explaining how the family manipulated my desire to help into unknowing participation in their scheme. The federal prosecutor calls me a victim of sophisticated financial manipulation and emotional abuse. It takes 11 months for everything to get resolved legally. By then, I'm living in Austin, working with Mike Romano on that whiskey bar we'd talked about opening. Clean money, legitimate investors, everything completely above board. One evening, I'm reviewing supplier contracts when my phone rings. Unknown Denver number. Hello, Benjamin? It's Kyle. I haven't spoken to him since the trial. Kyle, how are you holding up? Getting by. Just got released from minimum security last week. How long did you end up serving? 20 months, but only served 17 with good behavior. That's not too bad, all things considered. Listen, I called because I wanted to apologize for real this time. Not the bullshit I said in court for the cameras. I set down my pen. I'm listening. We fucked up completely, man. All of us. You were the best thing that ever happened to our family, and we treated you like a mark in some con game. Yeah, you did. Rachel, she's been asking about you, wondering if you'd ever consider talking to her again. How is she doing? Pretty rough. The whole thing destroyed her world. She's living with Melissa now, working at a coffee shop, trying to figure out how to rebuild her life from scratch. I think about that for a moment. Tell her I hope she figures it out. I really do. But we're finished, Kyle. That bridge isn't just burned. It's been demolished and the ground salted. I figured as much, but I had to ask. I understand why you'd try. For what it's worth, Benjamin, you did the right thing. There are a lot of families who would have gotten hurt much worse if you hadn't stopped this when you did. After he hangs up, I sit on my balcony with a glass of whiskey, thinking about everything that's happened. The betrayal still stings sometimes, but there's something else there too. Relief, maybe. Or just the satisfaction of knowing I didn't let them get away with it. My phone buzzes with a text from Ryan O'Sullivan. Saw the news about the final sentencing. Gregory Harrison got 12 years federal. Thought you'd want to know? I text back, justice served. Thanks for everything, brother. Thank you. This case made my entire career. First major financial crimes bust I led that actually stuck all the way through appeals. I smile and put the phone away. Below me, Austin spreads out in all directions, full of possibilities and honest opportunities. People who don't know my story or care about my past. And that's exactly how I want it. If you enjoyed this story, hit that like button and let me know in the comments what you think about Benjamin's decision. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe and hit the notification bell to get alerts about new stories like this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. 8 months later, I'm at the grand opening of the Silent Partner, the whiskey bar Mike and I opened together. Perfect name, I think. Honest and straightforward. The place is packed, reviews are fantastic, and I'm finally building something that's entirely mine. No hidden agendas, no family drama, no secrets lurking underneath. Just good whiskey, honest business, and the kind of peace that comes from knowing you did the right thing, even when it cost you everything you thought you wanted. Sometimes the best revenge isn't getting even. Sometimes it's just getting out, telling the truth, and building something better with what's left. And sometimes, if you're really lucky, the FBI sends you a formal letter of appreciation for helping them take down one of the largest money laundering operations in the Southwest. I framed that letter. It hangs behind the bar right next to our liquor license and the first dollar we earned. Because some stories end with revenge. Some end with justice. The best ones end with both.
They say just forget. Move on like it's easy. But forgetting you feels like remembering someone I've never seen. I've been trying to erase you from the places in my mind, but the harder that I fight it, the more you're hard to leave behind. Every memory keeps slipping through the cracks I try to close, like a face I should remember, but somehow never know. Forgetting you feels impossible, like chasing something I can't hold, like trying to remember someone that I've never even known. I keep reaching through the silence for a past I can't undo, 'cause letting go of what we had feels like losing something true. Every moment turns to fragments, every thought just fades to blue, like I'm searching for a feeling that still only leads to you. Forgetting you feels impossible, like chasing something I can't hold, like trying to remember someone that I've never even known. I keep reaching through the silence for a past I can't undo, 'cause letting go of what we had feels like losing something true. But now every empty moment still reminds me what is real. Forgetting you feels impossible, like chasing something I can't hold, like trying to remember someone that I've never even known. I keep reaching through the silence for a past I can't undo, 'cause letting go of what we had feels like losing something true. Don't pity me. My heart doesn't need your mercy. I can still stand on my own. I was broken by your leaving, fell deeper than I thought I would, but pain has taught me how to heal now and survive what once I couldn't. You don't have to look back sadly, don't reach out with guilty hands. What you shattered made me stronger. Now I rise where I once collapsed. My heart doesn't need your pity, not another empty sign. I've got enough strength left within me to rebuild this life of mine. My feet are steady through this sorrow, I can stand through all the pain. You don't have to save me, darling, I'll learn to breathe again. I once begged for your affection, Now I've learned my worth in scars, and the man you left in pieces found his own way through the dark. My heart doesn't need your pity, not another empty sign. I've got enough strength left within me to rebuild this life of mine. My feet are steady through the sorrow, I can stand through all the pain. You don't have to save me, darling, I'll learn to breathe again. Begun. My heart doesn't need your pity, not another empty sign. I've got enough strength left within me to rebuild this life of mine. My feet are steady through the sorrow, I can stand through all the pain. You don't have to save me, darling, I'll rise alone again. I'll rise alone